All right. Welcome to 165 Entertainment, kids. My name is Looby.
And I'm Dixon.
Oh, and I'm quitting. Anyway, this is the follow-up part to the part one of the Smash Bros. Discussion that we had. This is in preparation for the Nintendo Direct that's coming out next Tuesday, I believe it is. Is that the dates of the 15th?
Yes.
Nintendo is devoting what they say is their last Smash-only Direct. And part one of our discussion was about stages and other little tweaks that we can make to the game. And today, this part of the discussion isn't going to be entirely about characters and the Smash Ballot, who we think shouldn't be in there, and everything like that. So, Mr. Dixon, I assume you went into the Smash Ballot at some point, right?
I did. I will admit that I did go into the Smash Ballot.
All right, and who did you submit?
So, here's the big thing about it, and this was something that when they were regularly releasing characters and saying this is a new character, and I always had these discussions like, man, it would be nice if this person would join. And my first one is like, I want a Meta Knight back. That's, a big. I love that character, not just in the Smash series, but in the Kirby series overall. I'm a very big Kirby fan, and I very much gravitate towards the Kirby characters. And then as it kept going, they kept releasing, better and better ones. Like, man, it'd be nice if Bowser Jr. got in, because I love Bowser Jr. And then pow, they put Bowser Jr. in. And then it's like, okay, well, it'd be cool if they brought, say, like, someone back from the old series, like Lucas or Mewtwo, and pow, there they are, and they bring them back in, and they bring in Roy, and each and every time they're bringing in these characters, it's like, yes, this is great, this is fantastic. So when it came down to the Smash Ballot, there wasn't a clear-cut person that I'm like, they haven't put them in. They have over 50 characters. I think they did a fantastic job of choosing who there was in here and wasn't in here.
Right.
So to come down to it, what my actual vote was is one I feel is like he doesn't get the attention that he deserves, even though he's been in the Nintendo franchise since the very beginning. I think that's Toad.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
They already have an amiibo for him, so they're already jumping the gun on that one. They could release a new one, but you could have the Toad amiibo already. And he's been in all these Mario parties, Mario Karts. He's becoming more integrated as an actual character. They have the Captain Toad's Incredible Adventure, or whatever it's called, coming out. They have a lot of stuff that's devoted to Toad. And it's so strange that he hasn't made an appearance whatsoever in the Smash series, if you seriously think about it, besides being a human shield to Peach. And granted, you can still keep that, because there's tons of Toads, they're all funguses, you can go for days about it. But to bring in actual Toad, or even go to the point of saying Captain Toad, either way, it would be a fantastic thing to just have this final Nintendo main franchise character. I don't want to hear anything about Daisy. She's not a main one. She was added in. She was someone that was in the old series, but just kind of added in to spice up the palette a little bit. But Toad has been there the entire time. I could go into discussions about movesets, but something that I always feel like when you start talking about characters, I don't see what their moveset could be. People will come up with movesets. If you want a character in there, if there was a character that was a stick, they would find a moveset for it. So I'm not worried about, what could their moveset be? They will find a moveset for Toad. Use the stars from Mario Party as his ultimate, whatever, or his just final smash, whatever it may be. But Toad is someone I think really deserves to be in the series. With that, there is this caveat. If he does not make it as a character, which I see the chances of it being decently low, put him in his assist trophy. He's earned his time. He's done his time, getting pushed around and being in all the games. Put him in his assist trophy. I don't care. Put him in a Pokeball. Who cares? Get Toad into the game, one way or the other. So that's where my ballot vote went, because I felt like it was someone that was just really missing from it.
Yeah, I'll agree. And then, considering the fact that Toad, while he hasn't been the most playable character in the world, he was around in the original Super Mario game. And in Super Mario Bros. 2, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was the most powerful of the 4 characters you could choose.
He was.
And then, so you could have another kind of like a bare knuckle brawler thrown into the mix. Just have him be this complete wild card. Because, and I thought this through in my head for a little bit on my drive home from work today, thinking about how many sword characters that we have. And I thought, I'm kind of like, I like all the sword characters, but we just have so many of them, and we need to mix that up a little bit more. And
Agreed.
by having Toad come in and just punch the crap out of people, just being completely out of left field, I think it would be a lot of fun.
And I will say something that, with Cloud coming in, I am totally for Cloud.
Oh yeah.
I really think that he should be the last sword guy. If any going into any of these other characters, I think he really needs to be the last sword guy that comes out. There are a lot of sword guys in there, and whether it be all the Fire Emblems or Link, they all have their kind of unique twist to them, except the ones that are kind of semi-clones of one another. But make Link the last sword guy, or Cloud the last sword guy, and just go along, put in some more brawlers, or ones that have these unique distance type moves, you know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that was my vote. I'll get a little bit more into the ones. I don't think he's necessarily going to be the one. We'll get a little bit into the ones that I really think about that. But what was your ballot vote?
Well, was he the only one you put in for?
That's the only one. Well, there is another one I put in for, but we're going to discuss it a little bit later.
Okay. Because I put in for 2 characters. I'm trying to remember if I put in for the third one on my list, but I'll just start out from the beginning. Since we're talking about bare knuckle fighters, I went right in and threw Knuckles in the mix.
Yes. I like the Sonic series. That was one of the very first games that gravitated me towards video games in general. Always the uncle having a Sega Genesis and just going in and playing it and actually seeing Knuckles. And Knuckles is a fantastically different character than Sonic.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of different characters, like you could argue that Tails is different than Sonic, but in a sense he is very similar. He can just hover a little bit more. But Knuckles has such a different palette, a different taste to what the Sonic series is. Like, even in the beginning, they had Luigi and they had Mario, and at the very beginning they were very similar, very, like, they were exact color changes of one another. But as the series grew, they became different characters. Knuckles and Sonic were
they've never been the same ever.
No, they never. And Knuckles is a fantastic brawler type character, and I really would agree with that. Like I said, I didn't want to really get into movesets, but when you look at them, they're already there. You can already imagine what they are, and it just seems to fit.
He's got the gliding ability that in some games, since he glides with his fist sticking out, that could be part of his attack. And then another thing that I think would be really cool is if they give him his ability, because in Sonic Adventure 2, when you would go as Knuckles and hunting around for the Emerald Shards, you would do that thing where you dive underground and pop back up. I think that would be pretty cool if you're being chased by somebody and you decide suddenly to just drop down and they're still running, figuring out what you're trying to do, and you just come up and pop them up and send them flying.
Yeah, and it'd even be very similar to a Greninja move, but a little bit more of a, heavier type. Not saying to make it a clone of Greninja, please, no more of that. But to go into the ground and pop up, I think that's a fantastic move because it's a risk and reward sort of thing. Because obviously you're going to be able to see where the ground is digging and where they're going to pop up. But at that same time, if you hit them hard, you knock them up. It's knocking into combos. I think it'd be a fantastic addition to it. I will admit I did not put my ballot vote for that, but now I'm kicking myself because I didn't.
That's all right.
And the other thing is, a lot of people, when it came up to it, they were worried about too many third parties coming in. Sega and Nintendo have become such interlocking companies as of late that they might as well be in the same one. They might as well just welcome Sonic and add him to all the Mario parties and everything like that.
Yeah, and then even if you want, because I don't know how well these games are selling, but you got that whole new Sonic Boom series that I really don't think is doing that well, so you could throw Knuckles in there and try and boost the sales of that a little bit. But although I wouldn't want his character design to be like that because he looks terrible.
Oh no, you gotta do the old
OG
character design. Don't make him super tall and lanky and weird like he is now. Make him the short, stout, little brawler that he is, and I think that's something that that would be great to happen. I think Out of all the series, Sonic has so many other characters that you could add to it, and people argue Shadow and Tails. Knuckles is something that's different from all those. Shadow is another Sonic, even though he has guns and everything like that. He is literally, a shadow of him.
People don't talk about that
Yeah.
form of Shadow anymore.
Yeah, so let's not even consider that. Put Knuckles in. He's drastically different from Sonic.
Yes.
Same series. It gives us a little bit of a change. I love it. Love it.
All right. So what was your other one that you wanted to save, or are you saving it for?
Well, this is one. So I'll go into it, and I think this is one that I put in a ballot for, and it's also one that I could see is much more likely to get in to the series, especially with. Now, the only thing that happens that prevents it is the dispute between companies, and that's Banjo Kazooie.
Yes.
And
Fuck yes.
Banjo Kazooie is a fantastic platforming series, and a lot of people argue that it may or may not have been better than Mario 64. That's completely up to debate. Now, it's just a great game. I love playing those games all the way through. I didn't necessarily collect everything out of it, but it's still something that it's one of those games when you see, you're like, I want to play this right now. And especially when they release like the rare replay and everything, we have like 100 different games. The only reason I'm going to buy that one is to play Banjo 1 and Banjo 2, Kazooie and Banjo 2.
That's the only reason I got it.
Yeah, and to actually have those two be in there, don't even actually put in conversations that they say. Just put that terrible wah, 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 wah as their conversation. Exactly, they don't need to talk. Just leave them at that, and that would be fantastic. I think it's great. I think Banjo-Kazooie has been around, and it's someone that, why the newer generation might not be as familiar with them, it is definitely someone that has made Nintendo, and when you see like just boxes of like Nintendo 64 and all those things, some of the first things you see is Banjo-Kazooie, and he seems to fit so well with the dynamic of Smash Brothers. A lot of people had issues with like Snake being in. It's like, well, where did that come from? He doesn't feel like he fits. If Banjo-Kazooie isn't in the realm of Smash Brothers where he just makes sense that they're in there, I don't know what is. I really don't know what our character could be.
It's a bear and a bird. They fit in just fine. If Duck Hunt could work, Banjo-Kazooie will work. And when you think about it, when you think back to the game and think pretty much all the way through the game, all the stuff you're learning is all combat stuff that obviously is going to transfer over to Smash Bros. Just flawlessly.
Exactly. It's a very clean-cut template. You don't even have to think that hard to be like, yep, that's it. That's the move. Your dash move is your rolling, and you want to use a long-distance move, you whip Kazooie out and you shoot the eggs. Like it's so easy. Like it's pretty much a copy and paste at that point, and
right.
The only thing that is preventing it now, this is the one that I feel like would be one of the more likely ones, not the most likely, just because of Nintendo and Rare and not really syncing up a whole lot, but not necessarily Rare, sorry, Microsoft, but with Minecraft coming over, which is a big thing for Microsoft coming over to the Nintendo Wii U, this seems like trivial compared to that, because Minecraft is something that's huge for many people across many different platforms. So if they can have that huge thing come over, put Banjo-Kazooie in there, it tidies up a little bit of this negative impact that might be happening between the companies, and happier game companies are willing to work together and make happier customers.
And actually, the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft has been getting a lot better, because I saw this one article, I think it was yesterday, got posted somewhere about, and I'm pretty sure it was a Microsoft rep saying, and this was kind of bizarre, he was saying like, I would love to have Nintendo games on the Xbox. And then there was another article when I was reading up on some of the stuff about Smash. I don't know if this was a Rare rep or if it was a Microsoft rep saying that he also thought it was a good idea for Banjo-Kazooie to be in Smash. So I feel like in all the corporate end of it, at least the creative end of it, they all are okay with it. So I really think that if Banjo-Kazooie doesn't make it in, then it's got to be some breaks down in like the financial end of it that are really holding it up.
I'd agree. I 100% agree. So, the other ones that I feel that are more likely to get in, and we touched a little bit on the stage thing, is a Splatoon character, the Inklings.
Yes.
And I'm not all for this just because I haven't really gotten into it. I'm on the 3DS side when it comes to the Nintendo portion, and I haven't played a lot of it. I've heard great things about it, and I'm not against it at all. I think having an Inkling stage is like a no-brainer. Inkling character, I would argue that if they were ever going to put in Smash Brothers, it should be now.
Yes. 100% agree, because they're just past their height of popularity, because they actually just won best shooter at that the video game awards. So then take this, run with it, and make Splatoon just a complete viable franchise that'll last way past the lifespan of the Wii U, and do that by throwing in the Inkling and making sure people remember there's this awesome character from this awesome game that you may or may not have played.
Yes, and I will say, I said it back in Toad, I'll say it again, the amiibos are out there, they're already done.
That's right.
You don't have to make new ones, we can just toss them into Smash Brothers. I think it's a highly viable and most likely going to happen as one of these 3 slots. I'm also all for it because it's a shooter. It's a longer distance fighter, and I feel that Smash Brothers, with all the swords people, we need more people with guns, we need more people with fists.
Yes.
And although it's not my first choice, because I will say Inklings aren't my favorite because I don't know them that well, I would be more surprised if they didn't make it in come this update rather than if they did.
And then the thing behind that is, I feel like when it comes to amiibos at this point, and especially because, and maybe any viewers we may or may not have will correct me on this, that the amiibos only have one role in Splatoon, which is that when you tap them on your gamepad, they just unlock one set of, here's a shirt, here's a hat, here's a special type of gun, and then that's pretty much it. But then in my mind, for a lot of the amiibos, they have, or at least most of them have, at least 2 uses, where a lot of them you can unlock stuff in Mario Kart, Mario Maker, Smash Bros, other stuff like that. And they, especially for all the people that went out and bought these things, to get only that one-time use out of it would feel kind of like a ripoff. So I feel like this would be even better, other than just being a great character, it would be a way to thank those people for going out and buying up these figures the way they did by throwing Inkling and Smash.
And then additionally, it creates more hype about getting the Inklings or other amiibos,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, now this character's in Smash, now I don't just use it for costumes, I can raise it in Smash Brothers. And, you got them out there, run with it. Add more viability to the amiibos that are already out there, the ones that, you might have a little bit surplus on because you only get costumes for them. Put them in Smash, get them to where they have an actual versatility. You can actually use them, train them, and fight against one another with them.
That's right. Now, on that basis is my next character. Now, I didn't vote for this character because I've never played the only game that they've been in, but they did somehow manage to, and unless this has been debunked and I didn't know about it, is Shovel Knight.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about actually releasing that and getting him an amiibo, and I've seen the games. They just put it recently on the 3DS store, and I'm going out to buy it because I gotta know. I gotta see what it's all about. But just looking at the character and the sprite itself, and a bunch of images that have been released about how its 3D model would look, it sinks in.
It looks good.
It just makes sense. It looks like it fits, and
He's
Shovel Knight.
He's got that perfect mix of cartoony look and just the concept of this armored guy carrying a shovel, and it fits.
And I think it's something that, even though we have been talking a little bit about no more sword users, I'd say it's a loophole. Someone's fighting with a shovel, I mean, I think that's enough to constitute something that's coming up. Like, it's a great thing. It's an indie game. Yes, it might not be something that's known as much in Japan, but I mean, there's a bunch of them. Like Xenoblade Chronicles it was a huge thing for a little bit of time here, but it was fantastically large in Japan, and now we're getting into it because we see Shulk and we see all these things, and now it's an American game that we clamor for, and it's hard to find the old Xenoblade Chronicles to play as Shulk, and they re-release on the 3DS. We can do the exact same thing with Shovel Knight. I mean,
and the same fucking concept goes for Fire Emblem. When they came into Melee, nobody knew most of us didn't know who the fuck they were, and Fire Emblem, and you'll agree with me, is one of the greatest series ever played. Oh my goodness.
Oh yes. And you go and play the individual ones, and there's some that aren't so great, and there's some that are fantastic, but overall the series is just, it's one of those games you can pick up and you just keep going and going and going, and without having this like big inclusion just into Smash Brothers, no one would necessarily look that way about it. And Shovel Knight is one of those people, or Shovel Knight is one of those characters that I heard things about, and I'm kind of a little bit back and forth, but the idea of them being in Smash Brothers just makes me want to go and check things out. And Smash Brothers is something that integrated me to a lot of different games that I might not have played before and might not have necessarily been interested in. But Fire Emblem being one of them, it's a big thing going about and playing the Fire Emblem games, and then you get hooked on them. And even with the new Pokemon, when Lucario came out, I'd never played past like the Gold and or Sapphire series, and then I hear about Lucario, I'm like, let me go play with Pokemon X and Y, and they're fantastic games. Right. And it just cross-platforms to the other items that you have on there. Put them in. Shovel Knight is well known in the area, and from what I've seen, he's had a lot of clamor about him. I think and the models that he looks for in there, put him in. He seems great to fit in there. So though I believe, is there any other ones that you think have the chance, or may or may not be in there?
Let's say he is Isaac from Golden Sun, the one who would send out the giant hand.
He was in Brawl, and he is not in Smash 4.
That's kind of what I thought.
The reason that he isn't is beyond me. It was a fantastic assist trophy that created tons of chaos, more than just like slight inconvenience. It was one of those assist trophies that you openly had to avoid, rather than ones that you can kind of, I'm just going to power through it and get to the other side. And
that's that. For a little bit, it made me think that maybe they were saving a character slot for him, because if you already have him programmed as an assist trophy, why would you just get rid of him and not just port him over like they would with a bunch of the other assist trophies that made it over?
I agree, and that would be the one sporting chance that I would say that he would have to be a character. He also falls in the category, if he was a character, I'd be okay with it. I'd really love him back as an assist trophy. I love that assist trophy. It was one of my favorites that they had in Brawl, and it's one of those ones when you grabbed in, you saw him pop out, you're like, people are going to die, and you felt fantastic about it.
And that's why I think it would be cool to have that move integrated with the character, where you just let loose this giant hand and push everyone off the stage or whatever.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good time.
Of all the power, because did you ever play any of the Golden Sun games?
I did not, and that was one of the things, is that when I see Isaac, and this goes back to why integrating these characters that are from lesser known franchises is a great thing. It makes you want to go and try out these franchises, and I will say that I haven't gotten to the Golden Sun portion of it, but that is definitely one of the games on my list that I feel like I have to play.
It's so fucking good. One of my favorite RPGs ever.
Yeah. So if that's what we have for the characters expected.
That's for the characters expected. I have one last thing that I'm going to save for a little bit, just because it's another like off the wall stupid thing that I just thought of at a random time at work today. But you have a thing that you want to say. I'm gonna save it for the end.
So here's my, I'm gonna limit it to a 2-minute rant.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, viewers, but this is how it is.
I've been looking forward to this.
These are characters I don't want in there. Leave them alone. Let them die. The first one that comes up is Wolf. I get it. I loved Wolf in the Star Fox series. He was fantastic. I think he should have been a character in place of one of the other, Fox, or even like a palette slot for Fox. Let him go. Okay, I get it. You want Wolf. He's a villain. There's other reasons to be in it. he's very similar. Just let it go. Just let him be. Let him be a Brawl specific thing. Let him be something that's fantastic in Brawl. Let him die there. Let him have his Star Fox with everything coming up in Star Fox. Let him be in Star Fox. We don't need him in Brawl. We don't need a third person that is similar to other characters. Everyone is always complaining about Lucina and these other people being clones. So let's not add another one. Let's just not. Let it be a completely unique character. Let Wolf die. In that same sense, that's a little bit different. King K. Rool. Come on.
Yeah.
He hasn't been around since 64 days. He was in Sluggers once, which he had his little Kremlings and everything like that. I love the old Donkey Kongs as much as the next person. And yes, you can pull from tons of different things. Would I say that he's a big enough character to be in Smash Brothers? Absolutely not. He's a big guy. I get it. You want to put him in here. Let him go. There's tons of characters that are coming in. I would love to have him be brought back into Donkey Kong series. Leave him out of Smash Brothers. We know that this is supposed to be the best of the best sort of thing, the best of the series that are coming along. And I really think with Donkey Kong and Diddy, the thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull another Kong in. Leave K. Rool out of it. I'd rather have Dixie or Lanky or any of the other Kongs.
Lanky,
even
yes.
Put Cranky in there before you put K. Rool. Let him go.
I'd be alright with Cranky.
I would be okay with Cranky too, but I really don't see K. Rool as a viable option. He hasn't been relevant for a while. In terms of
if you're gonna bring in any Kong character, you gotta bring in Funky.
You gotta bring in Funky. Bring in Funky
yes.
as anything. I don't care. Let him be someone that announces the games that are coming out. Yeah! DK is the winner, yeah! I don't care. Put him in there any way that you can. In that sense of characters not being relevant and just need to be let go. Gino. I get it. He was great in that game, and he was one of the cooler characters in the RPG game. Go past the point that someone else has the rights to him. Let Gino, he's done. He's over with. He had his time. He was great. Putting him out there isn't helping anybody at all. It's not helping a single person. Square Enix was related a little bit to that. Let it go. We got Cloud. It's much more representative of Gino. Okay? Put it in your Project M and everything else and play Gino there. Get Gino out of here. He's not even relevant and on the radar to Nintendo franchises anymore, besides people complaining that he's not in a Smash Brothers game. Fuck Gino. That's all. And real quick, in and out, Goku's not a video game character. Let it out. Let it go. Goodbye. Stop. Let him stay in the anime series. That's where he belongs. We're not bringing in Inuyasha, and we're not bringing in characters from Bleach. Leave Goku over there. He's got fucking 400 different fighting games that you can fight as Goku. Let him go fight Superman or whatever else somewhere else. Fuck Goku.
Just out of curiosity, did you ever see anyone who wanted Inuyasha in there?
I don't want to talk about it. But that's it. Leave those characters out. I'm sorry. I know it hurts. You gotta let them go. Let them play them in the other games.
That was good. Well done.
Thank you. So your last bit before we wrap up here.
My last bit, again, is something completely off the wall. I have no idea where this came from. I know it's not going to happen. I don't even. The more I thought about it, the more I thought it would be cool to see, but I don't know how it would happen. And I realized I'm not making a great case for this guy. But when I was watching Mario Maker videos and seeing all the different characters that could be unlocked, and the one that really caught my attention was getting to play as a Mario Kart. I thought that's a really cool thing, and I started trying to imagine in my head, you have like Link and Donkey Kong and other people on a stage, and then just Mario driving, running over these characters and throwing, granted, powered down versions of like the shells and the bananas and the bombs and stuff like that. And I just thought that would be just odd and but just really different.
I really cannot say that I agree with that at
I'm okay with that. Again, like I said, this is
yeah, like I'm saying, this I feel it's like a clamoring of the All Stars, and obviously we're reaching a little bit further than the bounds of normality because certain characters like Lucina and all those things that might not necessarily be the up and coming things. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't Mario Kart. I can't just in any aspect of them. Leave them on the courses.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I
That's
got.
cool.
But it's good. So that being said. Thank you guys for listening. Let us know what you think about this overview in the comments. Let us know your feedback about these different characters, how you feel about them, and give us a little bit on what you're thinking of it. We're open to ideas. We would love to hear what you guys have to talk and other people that you wanted to have as characters and tossed into this mix. But thank you very much, guys, for listening. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Give us some feedback about everything that's going on here, and let us know what happens. Come back Tuesday and let us know how right or wrong we were. Thanks, everybody.
Subscribe.